The shotgun blast echoed through the humid Georgia night like a thunderclap from hell, shattering the cicada's endless hum and Aiden's fragile illusion of safety. He froze on the creaky porch of his childhood home, heart slamming against his ribs, as his father's silhouette loomed in the doorway, eyes wild, bottle in one hand, the other still gripping the empty shotgun like it was a lifeline. "Boy, you think you can slink back here after all these years and act like nothing's changed? I know what you are, Aiden." "I always knew." Aiden's mouth went dry, the words he'd buried deeper than his grandma's old Bible sticking like thorns in his throat. But before he could choke out a denial, the screen door banged open behind him, and there was Noah, his Noah, stepping out from the shadows of the oak tree where he'd been waiting, face pale as moonlight, eyes wide with the kind of fear that said this was it, the end of everything they'd whispered about in stolen motel rooms. Aiden had always known his father carried ghosts heavier than the weight of that old Remington shotgun propped against the kitchen wall. Harlan Whitaker was a man forged in the fires of Vietnam and cooled in the slow boil of small-town resentment, back when Macon, Georgia, still whispered about those kinds of boys like they were urban legends from Atlanta. Aiden grew up dodging those whispers, learning early to tuck away the parts of himself that didn't fit the Whitaker mold. The rough hands from farm work, the Sunday sermons laced with fire and brimstone, the unspoken rule that blood was thicker than any truth you might dare to speak. He'd met Noah 3 years ago, on a Greyhound bus rumbling north toward New York, fleeing the summer heat and the suffocating grip of home. Aiden was 22 then, fresh out of community college with a half-assed associates in business and dreams big enough to choke on. Noah was 24, a freelance photographer with ink stains on his fingers and a laugh that cut through the bus's stale air like sunlight through kudzu. He had that effortless city polish, faded Levi's hugging his lean frame, a leather jacket slung over one shoulder, and hazel eyes that saw right through Aiden's bullshit from the jump. "You look like you're running from something," Noah had said, sliding into the seat across the aisle with a styrofoam cup of coffee he offered like a peace flag. Aiden had shrugged, staring out at the blurring pines, but Noah didn't push. Instead, he pulled out his camera, an old Nikon that clicked softly as he snapped a candid of Aiden's profile against the window. "There. Now you're immortalized." Escaping southbound. By the time they hit Philly for Noah's layover, the bus had become a confessional. Aiden spilled fragments. His dad's rages after too many Bud Lights, his mom's quiet endurance with her church quilt circles, the way he'd lied about that one high school party where he'd kissed Tommy Reeves behind the bleachers and spent the next decade pretending it was a fever dream. Noah listened, not with pity, but with a steady gaze that made Aiden feel seen, not dissected. "Family's a bitch," Noah murmured, his knee brushing Aiden's under the armrest. "But you don't have to carry it alone." That night, in a dingy motel off I-95, they crossed the line Aiden had drawn in his mind 1,000 times. Noah's hands were gentle, mapping Aiden's skin like he was framing a shot, hesitant at first, then urgent, as if capturing the light before it faded. Aiden tasted salt and freedom on Noah's lips, the kind of kiss that rewrote geographies. When they collapsed onto the sagging mattress, tangled and breathless, Aiden whispered, "This can't follow me home." Noah just pulled him closer, murmuring against his neck, "It doesn't have to." Not yet. They didn't make it to New York that summer. Noah's gigs kept him bouncing between Philly and D.C., shooting indie bands and protest marches, while Aiden scraped by as a barista in a hipster cafe, slinging lattes to trust fund kids who romanticized the South without ever tasting its bite. Their love grew in the cracks, weekend drives to the Jersey Shore, where they'd walk the boardwalk hand in hand until the crowds thinned, then steal kisses in the shadow of the Ferris wheel. Noah taught Aiden to frame the world through a lens, gifting him a second-hand Polaroid that captured blurry sunsets and Noah's crooked smile. Aiden, in turn, showed Noah the raw poetry of grits and gravy, late-night bonfires where they'd talk about futures that didn't include Harlan's shadow. But home loomed like a storm cloud. Every call from his mom was a reminder. Your daddy's not doing so good, sugar. The mill laid him off again. Aiden sent money when he could, wired from his meager tips, and lied about his life in the north. "Datin' a girl from accounting school," he'd say, the words tasting like ash. Noah knew the drill: never push, never pry. But in quiet moments, when Noah traced the scars on Aiden's knuckles from childhood fights, he'd ask softly, "When are you gonna let me in, Aid?" All the way, Aiden would deflect with a joke, pulling Noah into bed with promises of soon turned to months, then years. They built a rhythm. Noah's apartment in Fishtown became their sanctuary, walls plastered with photos of road trips to the Smokies, where Aiden finally let go enough to hold Noah's hand in public. There were fights, too, the kind that came from Aiden's silences, Noah's frustrations bubbling over into accusations of shame. "I'm not your dirty secret," Noah snapped once, after Aiden yanked his hand away at a crowded diner when his old college buddy walked in. Aiden had stormed out, only to return hours later with wilting daisies and an apology that ended in tears and makeup sex that left them both raw. Still, the hiding wore on them like sandpaper. Noah started talking about rings, not the cheap kind from pawn shops, but real ones, the sort that said forever. Aiden wanted it. God, he did. But every time he pictured Harlan's face, shotgun or no, the words died. Blood first, his grandma used to say, her arthritic hands folding laundry with the precision of a prayer. Blood was Harlan's rages, his mom's weary eyes, the little sister Ellie who'd idolized Aiden until he left without a goodbye. Truth, that was Noah's light, the one thing keeping Aiden from drowning. The call came on a sweltering July afternoon, 2 years into their hidden life. Aiden was elbow-deep in espresso grounds when his phone buzzed. Ellie's number, not his mom's. "Aiden? It's bad. Daddy." He shot at Mr. Jenkins over the fence line. Cops took him. Mama's fallen apart. Aiden's world tilted. He closed the shop early, hands shaking as he booked the first flight south. Noah found him packing that night, duffel half-zipped on the bed. "I'm comin' with you," Noah said, already grabbing his own bag. Aiden's stomach nodded. "No. You can't. Not like this." The words hung heavy, Noah's face crumpling like wet paper. "Like what? Like your boyfriend? Or like the thing you're too chicken shit to admit?" Noah's voice cracked, but he didn't back down. Aiden pulled him into a fierce hug, breathing in the familiar scent of darkroom chemicals and cedar cologne. "Please. Just wait for me. I need to handle this alone." Noah nodded, but the hurt in his eyes was a fresh wound. Aiden boarded the plane with that image burned in. Noah alone in the doorway, arms crossed, the city lights mocking their fragile truce. Macon hadn't changed, same cracked sidewalks, same Confederate ghosts in the magnolias. His mom met him at the airport, thinner than he remembered, her hug bony and desperate. "Oh, Aiden boy, thank Jesus you're here." Ellie clung to his leg, ate now and fierce-eyed, whispering, "Daddy scared me real bad this time." Harlan was out on bail, holed up in a motel by the river, too ashamed to come home. Aiden spent the first days shuttling between the house and the courthouse, smoothing over neighbor gossip, lying through his teeth about his steady job up north. Nights were the worst. Lying in his old twin bed, posters of Dale Earnhardt peeling from the walls, Aiden texted Noah in the dark, "Miss you. This place is a tomb." Noah's replies were steady anchors. "You're stronger than it. Come home soon." But the distance gnawed, a reminder of all the half-truths stacking up like cordwood. It was on the fourth night that the shotgun came out. Aiden had driven to the motel, Harlan's truck parked crooked in the lot like a drunkard's confession. He knocked, and the door flew open to chaos. Empty bottles, Harlan pacing with the gun unloaded but menacing. "You think you can fix me, son? With your fancy talk and your city ways?" Harlan's breath reeked of whiskey, eyes bloodshot. Aiden talked him down, hours of it, until Harlan slumped into a chair, sobbing about the mill closing, the VA benefits drying up, the fear of becoming one of those broken vets nobody wants. Aiden stayed, crashing on the lumpy couch, waking to Harlan's snores and the river's murmur. By morning, father and son had forged a brittle peace, Harlan agreeing to AA, Aiden promising to stick around a week more. But as they stepped onto the balcony for coffee, cigarette smoke curling like secrets, Harlan fixed Aiden with a stare that peeled back layers. "Heard from your cousin. Said you got a roommate up there. That true?" Aiden's pulse thundered. He forced a laugh. "Yeah, man. Just crashin' to save rent." Harlan grunted, but the doubt lingered, a seed in fertile soil. Aiden fled to the house, heart racing, and called Noah that night from the barn, voice low. "It's getting worse. He suspects something." Noah's silence stretched. Then tell him, "Hey, or let me go. I can't keep being the ghost in your story." Aiden hung up with promises he couldn't keep, the weight of blood pressing down like the Georgia clay. Little did he know, the crisis was just uncoiling, a serpent in the garden ready to strike. The days blurred into a humid haze of mediation sessions and church potlucks, where neighbors pressed casseroles into his mom's hands and side-eyed Aiden like he was the prodigal son with a hidden vice. He played the part, charming the deacon's wife with stories of Philly cheesesteaks, helping Ellie with her summer reading, even joining Harlan for a fishing trip on the Okmulgee where they didn't speak of the shotgun but shared a six-pack in uneasy truce. Noah's texts tapered off, from thinking of you to Kurt you okay, each one a pinprick reminding Aiden of the fracture he'd caused. One evening, after tucking Ellie in with a dog-eared copy of Where the Red Fern Grows, Aiden slipped out to the back porch swing, the one his mom rocked in during thunderstorms. The air was thick with jasmine and regret. He dialed Noah, needing the sound of his voice like oxygen. It rang 4 times before Noah picked up, background noise of a bar, clinking glasses, laughter that didn't reach his tone. "Hey," Noah said, guarded. "Hey yourself." Aiden leaned back, stars pricking the sky like distant accusations. "Ellie's a skin about you. Told her you're my foddig buddy from the bus." A beat of silence. "Foddig buddy. Right." Noah's exhale was ragged. "Look, Abe, I get it. Family first. But I'm startin' to feel like the side quest in your epic." Aiden's chest tightened. "It's not like that. This place. It chews you up if you don't play by the rules." Harlan's one wrong look from losing it all over again. Then why hide me? I'm not some phase. Noah's voice rose, edged with the hurt Aiden had banked like embers. We talked about this, rings, trips to Provincetown, buildin' something real. But every time it gets close, you shove me in the closet. I know. God, I know. Aiden rubbed his eyes, tears hot. Just give me time. Once things settle, I'll bring you down. Show 'em who you are. Noah laughed, bitter. Who I am, or who you want them to see. The call ended with I love you from Aiden and a soft me too from Noah. But the line felt severed, a thread fraying. The turning point came midweek, when Harlan's old army buddy, Uncle Ray, rolled into town unannounced. Ray was a transplant from Birmingham, all bluster and Bible quotes, with a daughter who'd just come out as straight edge after a church retreat. He clapped Aiden on the back at the family barbecue, grill smoke mingling with the scent of ribs and betrayal. Heard you're shacked up with some Yankee artsy type. That true, nephew? Aiden's fork froze halfway to his mouth. Harlan paused mid-bite, eyes narrowing. What Yankee? Ray chuckled, oblivious. Your boy here's got a roommate, fella with a camera. Cousin Jenny saw him at a gas station up in Jersey last Christmas. Holdin' hands like it was nothin'. The yard went still, cicadas the only sound. Harlan's face darkened, slow like a bruise blooming. Aiden, it's not. Aiden started, but the words jammed. Ellie dropped her plastic plate, ketchup splattering her sundress. His mom fanned herself with a napkin, murmuring prayers under her breath. Harlan shoved back from the picnic table, chair scraping gravel. Outside. Now, Aiden followed, legs leaden, into the barn where shadows hid the ghosts of childhood hidings. Harlan whirled, face a mask of fury and something deeper, disappointment carved from bone. You queer boy, that's what this is. The word landed like a slap, ugly and American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Aiden flinched, but something in him, maybe Noah's voice echoing tell him, pushed back. Dad, it's not. I mean, yeah. Noah's my boyfriend. The admission hung there, raw and real, the first time Aiden had said it aloud in this soil. Harlan's fist clenched, knuckles white. Boyfriend? Jesus Christ. Aiden. I raised you better than this perversion. He paced, boots thudding dirt, quoting Leviticus like ammo. What about blood? Your mama's heart? Ellie's future? You gonna parade this? This sin in our faces. Aiden's voice shook but held. It's not a sin to love someone. Noah's the best thing that's happened to me. He sees me, Dad. Not the Whitaker heir you want. Harlan stopped, breath heaving. For a moment, vulnerability cracked through, eyes glistening, the war vet surfacing. I lost brothers over there, Aiden. Good men, fightin' for a world that don't bend. You think I can lose my son to this? He sank onto a hay bale, head in hands. Just keep it quiet. For now. We got enough storms brewin'. Aiden nodded, relief and rage twisting like kudzu in his gut. He texted Noah from the barn loft, told him. It's out. Noah's reply was instant. Holy shit. You okay? Aiden, not sure. Comin' home tomorrow. Need you. But the peace was a lie, thin as screened-in porch mesh. That night, Harlan drank alone in the den, TV droning Fox News rants about family values. Aiden overheard him on the phone with Ray. Kids confused. City poisoned him. We'll fix it. Fix it. The words chilled Aiden to the marrow. By dawn, he'd packed, kissing his mom's cheek and hugging Ellie tight, promising to call. Harlan grunted a goodbye from the kitchen, eyes averted, the shotgun cleaned and loaded on the counter like a silent sentinel. The flight north was turbulence incarnate, mirroring Aiden's soul. He landed in Philly to Noah waiting at baggage claim. Sign in hand, "Welcome home, Whitaker." Aiden crashed into him, burying his face in Noah's neck, the airport bustle fading to white noise. "I did it," he whispered. Told him everything. Noah pulled back, searching his face. "And hell to pay. But free." They drove home in silence at first, then Noah's hand on Aiden's thigh. Anchor. That night, they made love slow and deliberate, reclaiming space in their bed, bodies a map of forgiveness. Aiden traced Noah's tattoos, a compass rose on his ribcage, arrow pointing true north, and vowed silently, no more hiding. But blood has a long memory. 2 days later, as Aiden settled back into shifts at the cafe, his phone rang, Harlan's number. "Get down here, son. Your mama. She's had a spell." Heart. Aiden's world imploded again. He booked the red-eye, Noah insisting on coming this time. "No more ghosts," Noah said, packing his camera like armor. Aiden hesitated, Harlan's warning echoing, but nodded. Together, the drive from the Atlanta airport was a funeral procession in slow motion, Georgia humidity pressing like judgment. Noah gripped the rental's wheel, jaw set, while Aiden navigated via Waze, avoiding the old backroads haunted by memories. They arrived at the hospital in Macon just past midnight, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. Ellie met them in the lobby, pigtails askew, clutching a stuffed bear. "Aiden," she hugged his legs, then eyed Noah warily. "Who's he?" Aiden knelt, heart swelling. "This is Noah, kiddo. My partner. Like how Mama and Daddy used to be, but better." Ellie's eyes widened. Then she grinned, tugging Noah's sleeve. "You take pictures? Can you do me like a princess?" Noah crouched, charm on full. "Absolutely. But only if you promise to roar like a dragon first." Ellie giggled, tension shattering like glass. Aiden watched, chest aching with possibility. Upstairs, Harlan paced the waiting room, face haggard under the harsh lights. He froze at the sight of Noah, hand extended like a truce flag. "Mr. Whitaker, I'm Noah. Aiden's boyfriend." The word dropped like a stone in still water. Harlan's eyes flicked to Aiden, betrayal flashing, then dulled to resignation. He shook Noah's hand, grip iron but brief. "Heard about you. No warmth, but no shotgun. Progress," Aiden thought, fragile as eggshell. The doctor emerged, mild arrhythmia, stress-induced. She'd be okay with rest and meds. Relief washed over them, but as they filed into her room, Harlan pulled Aiden aside in the hall. "This don't change nothin'. Mama needs family now. Real family." His voice was low, laced with that old venom. "You bring this complication here. You're tearing her apart." Aiden's temper flared. "Complication? That's my life. That Noah's family too." Harlan's face twisted, And for a heartbeat, Aiden saw the man who'd once taught him to bait a hook, not the monster with the gun. You choose, boy. Blood or that. Harlan stormed off, leaving Aiden reeling. Noah appeared at his elbow, hand warm on his back. What happened? Aiden swallowed. The choice. Again. Noah's eyes darkened, but he nodded. Then choose. In his mom's room, she lay pale but smiling, squeezing Aiden's hand. My boys, she murmured, glancing at Noah with quiet curiosity. Ellie chattered about dragons, bridging the gap. For a moment, felt like Grace, human, messy, possible. But Harlan's ultimatum loomed, a shadow lengthening toward dawn. As they drove to the motel that night, Noah broke the silence. If you go back to hiding me, I can't. I won't. Aiden stared at the passing taillights. The crisis crystallizing, blood had drawn its line. Now truth demanded its due. The motel room smelled of stale smoke and regret, the kind of place where dreams checked in but never checked out. Aiden paced the threadbare carpet, phone clutched like a grenade, Harlan's words replaying on loop, blood or that. Noah sat on the edge of the bed, unpacking his camera bag with deliberate slowness, each click of a lens cap a metronome to Aiden's unraveling. I don't know what to do, Aiden finally said, sinking beside him. Noah's hand found his thumb tracing circles, a habit from their first nights, when touch was the only language that didn't lie. You do know. You've always known. Noah's voice was steady, but his eyes held the storm. This isn't about your dad anymore. It's about you believing you deserve both. Aiden laughed. Hollow. Deserve? In Macon, where queers get prayed over or run out. He gestured wildly at the peeling wallpaper, the neon vacancy sign flickering outside like a faulty halo. Mama's fragile. Ellie's watchin' everything. One wrong move, and I shatter him. Noah set the camera down, turning fully. And what about us? What about the life we're buildin'? I didn't sign up to be the villain in your family drama. Hurt edged his words, fresh from the flight, the hospital hallway where Harlan's glare had landed like frost. Noah leaned in, forehead to Aiden's. I love you, Aiden. But love isn't hidin'. It's standin' in the light, even when it burns. They kissed then, desperate and deep, hands fumbling with buttons as if skin could solve what words couldn't. It was reclaiming, fierce, Noah pinning Aiden to the mattress, whispers of mine and stay mingling with gasps. Afterward, tangled in sheets that smelled of bleach and them, Aiden traced the constellation of freckles on Noah's shoulder. What if I lose 'em all? Then you have me. And we'll build new. Noah's certainty was a lifeline, but Aiden felt the pull of the undertow, blood's inexorable tide. Morning brought false normalcy. They visited his mom, bringing Krispy Kremes and Ellie's favorite strawberry milkshake. She perked up at the sight of Noah, patting his hand with surprising warmth. You got kind eyes, son. Like my Aiden's daddy when he was young, before the war stole the soft parts. Harlan lurked in the corner, arms crossed, but said nothing, his silence a wall thicker than magnolia bark. Ellie dragged Noah to the hospital courtyard, demanding photos under the crepe myrtles. Aiden watched from the window, a lump in his throat. His sister twirling for the lens, Noah capturing her joy with that easy grace. It was a glimpse of what could be, family, reimagined. But when they returned, Harlan cornered Aiden in the vending machine alcove. See that? Ellie's innocent. You poison her with your ways. And God help you. Poison. Aiden's voice rose, echoing off tile. I'm giving her a brother who ain't ashamed. Who loves without apology. Harlan's face purpled, but a nurse bustled by, diffusing the bomb. That afternoon, they escaped to the riverfront, a neutral ground where childhood memories didn't bite as hard. Noah snapped shots of Aiden skipping stones, the Okmulgee lazy under July sun. Smile for me, Noah teased, zooming in. Aiden obliged, but his grin faltered when his phone buzzed. Ray again. Voice oily. Heard your dad spillin' secrets. You really bringin' that fairy home? Church folk are talkin'. Aiden hung up, fury boiling. Noah lowered the camera. What now? They're tunnin' it into gospel. Dad's feedin' the fire. Aiden hurled a rock into the water, ripples spreading like rumors. Noah pulled him close, chin on his shoulder. Then fight it. Or walk away. Simple words. But they landed like judgment. The real fracture came at dinner. Harlan insisted on a family meal at the house, his mom's discharge a victory lap. The table groaned under fried chicken, collards, cornbread, the sacraments of Southern survival. Ellie chattered about school. His mom smiled faintly, but tension crackled like the overhead fan. Noah, to his credit, dove in, complimenting the recipe, asking Harlan about his service with genuine curiosity. Must have been hell, sir. The stories you could tell. Harlan grunted, forking okra. Stories ain't for tender ears. His eyes flicked to Aiden, then Noah. Some things change a man. Make him forget where he came from. The subtext hung heavy. Aiden's mom cleared her throat. Harlan, enough. Aiden's home. That's what matters. But her eyes pleaded, don't rock the boat. Ellie, oblivious, piped up. Noah said he'd teach me photography. Can he stay longer? Aiden, please. The innocence gutted him. Harlan's fork clattered. Stay? This ain't a bed and breakfast for strays. Strays? Noah's voice was calm, but steel beneath. I'm here because I love your son, Mr. Whitaker. That's not stray. That's chosen. The room iced over. Harlan shoved back, chair toppling. Love? You call this love? Twistin' my boy into something unnatural. He rounded on Aiden. I told you choose. Blood sits at this table. Lies don't. Aiden stood, heart hammering. Noah's not a lie. He's truth. And if you can't see that, maybe you're the one forgettin' family. Words he'd rehearsed in mirrors, now spilling like blood from a fresh cut. Harlan's hand twitched toward the kitchen, toward the gun cabinet Aiden knew was locked but not forgotten. Get out. Both of you. Before I make you. His mom gasped, hand to chest. Ellie whimpered, Daddy. No. Noah grabbed Aiden's arm, pulling him toward the door. But Aiden shook free. This is my home too. You don't get to shotgun it away. The standoff stretched, Harlan's chest heaving, face a war zone of rage and ruin. Then, impossibly, his mom rose, frail but fierce. Harlan Whitaker, sit your ass down. This family's broken enough without you playing God. Her voice trembled, but held. Harlan deflated, sinking into his chair, defeated. They left anyway, the air outside cooler, stars indifferent witnesses. In the truck, Noah drove in silence until they hit the highway. That was brave, he said finally. Stupid. More like. Aiden's hands shook. What now? Mom's barely holding on. Noah glanced over. We go back. But on our terms. No more half measures. Aiden nodded, but doubt gnawed. That night, alone in a borrowed guest room at Ray's, Harlan's orders, Noah texted, "Proud of you. Whatever comes." Aiden stared at the ceiling, the crisis metastasizing. Betrayal wasn't just Harlan's. It was Aiden's own, the years of silence enabling this war. Dawn brought a ceasefire of sorts. His mom called, voice soft, "Come for breakfast. Bring Noah." We talk. Hope flickered, fragile. But as they pulled up, Harlan's truck was gone. Tires screeching toward the river, a bottle visible on the dash. The real storm was breaking. Breakfast was a minefield disguised as biscuits and gravy, steam rising like unspoken accusations. Aiden's mom presided at the head of the table, Ellie on her lap munching bacon, while Noah buttered toast with the careful poise of a diplomat. Harlan's absence loomed larger than his presence ever had, a void sucking the air from the room. He left before sunup, his mom said, eyes red-rimmed. Said he needed space. Prayin', it's just the bottle talkin'. Aiden nodded, throat tight, passing the jam to Noah under the table, a secret touch in plain sight. Ellie, sensing the undercurrent, launched into a monologue about her bear's imaginary adventures, drawing Noah in with wide-eyed charm. And then Sir Fluffykins fought the dragon with a camera. Pow! Noah laughed. Genuine, snapping an airshot. Just like that. You're a natural director. His mom's lips twitched, a ghost of a smile. You boys. Been together long? The question hung, tentative as a first step. Aiden met her gaze, stealing. 3 years. Mama. Feels like always. Noah's hand squeezed his knee. Silent solidarity. She nodded slowly, folding her napkin. I always knew you were different, sugar. The way you'd watch those sunsets like they held secrets. Just wished you'd trusted me sooner. Tears welled, but she blinked them back. Harlan's scared. Of losing you like he lost hisself. Noah spoke up, voice gentle. I get it, ma'am. War changes folks. But Aiden's not lost. He's found. The words landed soft, and for a moment, the kitchen warmed, humanity cracking the armor. But peace is fleeting in crisis. Mid-morning, Ray called, voice urgent. Your daddy's at the river bend. Bad shape. Hurry. Aiden's blood ran cold, the Okmulgee, with its muddy secrets and Harlan's history of cooling off with a fifth of Jack. They piled into Ray's F-150, Noah in the back with Ellie, who clutched her bear like a shield. The drive was a blur of pine and panic, Aiden's mind flashing to boyhood afternoons baiting hooks, Harlan's rare stories of Nam, buddies drowning in rice paddies, ghosts that whiskey couldn't drown. They found him at the old fishing spot, truck nose deep in gravel. Harlan slumped against an oak, bottle half empty at his feet. The river rushed indifferent, mocking the man who'd once commanded it. Dad! Aiden bolted, Noah close behind, Ellie peeking from the cab. Harlan stirred, eyes glassy. Go away, boy. Ain't your fight. But his voice cracked, the tough veneer sloughing off like wet bark. Aiden knelt, gravel biting knees. It is. All of it. Noah hung back, giving space, but his presence was a steady hum, Aiden's truth made flesh. Harlan's gaze sharpened, flicking to Noah. You. The poison, slurred, but venomous. Noah stepped forward, unflinching. Not poison, sir. Antidote. Aiden's been carrying your weight too long. Time to share the load. Harlan laughed, a bark without humor. Load? You think love fixes a man broke in half? He gestured wildly at the river. Lost my best friend there, in the mud. Held him while he bled out, begging for home. And now my son's bleedin' out for you. Aiden's chest caved. Dad, stop. Noah's not talking me. He's savon me. The words poured. Dam breaking, tales of bus rides and boardwalks, the hiding that hollowed him, the love that filled the cracks. Harlan listened, or pretended to, bottle tipping forgotten. Ellie, unable to stay put, toddled over, climbing into Aiden's lap. Daddy, Sir Fluffykins says no more sad. She thrust the bear at Harlan, who stared, then took it, fingers trembling. The absurdity cracked something, a sob, raw and unfiltered. I ain't ready, Harlan whispered. Bear clutched like absolution. For this. For you bein' happy without my say-so. Aiden hugged him then, awkward over Ellie's head, the river witnessing. Then learn. With us. Noah joined, hand on Harlan's shoulder, touch tentative, but there. No lightning struck. Just men, broken and mending, under Georgia sky. They got Harlan home, sobering him with coffee and his mom's quiet fussing. Ray hovered, judgment suspended for once. By evening, the house hummed with uneasy normalcy. Ellie showing Noah her dollhouse, his mom sharing photo albums of baby Aiden in overalls. Harlan watched from the recliner, silent but present, the shotgun locked away for good. That night, as Aiden and Noah lay in the guest room, Ellie's old canopy bed creaking under them, Noah whispered, "You did it." Chose. Aiden kissed his temple. We did. But it ain't over. Harlan's fear lingered. A specter. Betrayal struck at midnight, sharp as a stiletto. Aiden woke to his phone vibrating. Unknown number. A voicemail. Aiden Whitaker? This is Pastor Grimes. Your father's confessed some concerns about your lifestyle. Church board's meetin' tomorrow. Come set things straight, son. Aiden's stomach plummeted. Harlan, in a whiskey-fueled confessional, spilling to save face, or worse, to sabotage? He played it for Noah, voice shaking. He sold me out. To the goddamn church. Noah sat up, anger flashing. Then we go. Face it head-on. Dawn found them at the white-steepled First Baptist, parking lot filling with pickups and pious stares. Harlan waited on the steps, face ashen. Didn't mean for this, he muttered as Aiden approached. Talked too much last night. Pastor twisted it. Twisted. Aiden's voice rose. You outed me to half the county. Harlan winced. Thought it'd. I don't know. Make it go away. Classic Harlan. Blood over truth. Every time. Inside, the boardroom was a tribunal. Elders in starched collars, Bibles thumping like gavels. Pastor Grimes, silver-haired and serpentine, fixed on Aiden. Son, your father's shared his burden. This affliction, it's a test. Repent, and the flock welcomes you back. Noah, Beside him, bristled. Affliction? That's love your Callan disease. Murmurs rippled. Aiden stood, pulse thundering. No repentance needed. I love Noah. Proud of it. If that's a sin in your book, write me out. The room gasped. Harlan buried his face, but his mom's hand on his arm she'd followed held firm. Grimes leaned forward. And your family? This divides the blood. Blood heals, Aiden shot back. By Chusin truth, he grabbed Noah's hand, interlacing fingers, defiance in plain view. Ellie, smuggled in by his mom, clapped from the back pew. Chaos erupted, shouts, prayers, but Aiden walked out, Noah at his side, Harlan trailing like a penitent. Outside, under the bell tower's shadow, Harlan stopped them. I was wrong. Scared shitless, but wrong. His voice broke. Don't lose you two. Aiden hugged him, tears mixing, forgiveness tentative, but real. The drive back was cathartic. Windows down, wind whipping confessions clean. But crisis ebbs only to flow. That night, Harlan relapsed, found by Ray, bottle in hand, muttering about failures. Aiden sat with him till dawn, Noah brewing coffee, Ellie drawing pictures of happy daddies. It was messy, human, love's true face. Yet betrayal's echo lingered. Noah pulled Aiden aside at breakfast. This place is pulling you under. We stay, we drown. Aiden nodded, the choice crystallizing, blood redeemed, but truth demanded flight. The decision settled like autumn fog over the river, thick, obscuring, but inevitable. Aiden couldn't rebuild in Macon. The town's whispers had teeth. The church's judgment a noose tightening with every sidelong glance at the grocery store. Harlan's apology was earnest, etched in hungover eyes and a promise to therapy. But promises are paper in a hurricane. His mom's quiet support, go live your light, baby, and Ellie's bare hugs were lifelines, but not anchors. Noah was the horizon, pulling Aiden north. They planned the exit over pecan pie that last Sunday. Family gathered minus the shotgun scars. Ellie presented finger-painted invitations. Noah's gallery show in Philly, with dragons. Harlan grunted approval, sliding Aiden a check for starting over. No strings. It was blood money, maybe, but laced with grace. Aiden pocketed it, hugging his dad fierce. Come visit. See the city lights. Harlan nodded, throat working. Might. If you don't mind an old dog learning new tricks. Departure day dawned crisp. Leaves turning gold like reluctant farewells. The airport was a blur of tears and toasts. His mom pressing a quilt into Noah's arms. For cold nights, Ellie clinging till security pried her loose. Harlan hung back, then stepped forward, clasping Noah's hand. Take care of him. He's all I got left that's good. Noah met his gaze. Always have. Always will. No more words needed. The pact sealed in the terminal's hum. The flight was redemption's arc. Aiden's head on Noah's shoulder. Fingers entwined over armrests. We're free, he murmured. Philadelphia's skyline winking below like a promise kept. Noah kissed his temple. We were always free. Just had to claim it. Back in Fishtown, life stitched itself anew. Aiden enrolled in night classes for graphic design, channeling his eye for detail into logos that paid better than lattes. Noah's freelance bloomed. His exhibit, Southern Exposures, featuring Aiden's Polaroids alongside his own, Raw portraits of Harlan's haunted eyes. Ellie's dragon roars. The rivers bend as metaphor for bends in the road. Sold out. Critics praising the visceral humanity. And Aiden stood beside Noah at the opening. Hand in his. No hiding. Video calls bridged the miles. Ellie waving drawings. His mom sharing garden updates. Harlan, sober 6 months, boasting AA chips like medals. Miss you, son, he'd say, awkward but real. The first visit came at Christmas. Harlan and his mom flying up, Ellie in tow. Snow blanketed the city, a novelty that had her squealing. They toured the Liberty Bell, Harlan grumbling about Yankee history, but his arm around Aiden's shoulders said volumes. Noah cooked gumbo from a recipe his mom texted, and over eggnog, Harlan raised a glass, to blood, and to truth. May they learn to sit at the same table. It wasn't perfect. Harlan's old prejudices surfaced in barbs. Quickly checked. Aiden's nightmares of shotguns woke him sweating. But therapy wove the threads. Couple sessions for him and Noah. Family Zoom for the Whitakers. Betrayal scar faded to a story, not a shackle. Spring brought the ring simple titanium bands. Exchanged on the Jersey shore at sunset. Waves crashing like applause. Noah knelt in the sand. Camera forgotten. Voice steady. Aiden Whitaker. You've chosen me 1,000 times. Choose me forever. Aiden pulled him up. Kissing salt and yes. Forever started on that bus. The wedding was small. Human, Philly rooftop. Fairy lights and magnolia garlands shipped south. Ellie as flower girl. Scattering petals with flair. His mom tearing up vows. Harlan walking Aiden down the aisle. Grip firm. Proud of you. Boy, no caveats. Years folded like well-worn maps. Aiden's design firm thrived. Noah's book deal on queer Southern narratives, A Quiet Revolution. Ellie visited summers. Learning shutter speeds and skipping stones. Harlan softened. Volunteering at a VA center. Trading war stories for hope. Blood and truth, they coexisted. Messy but mighty. One humid August eve. Years later, Aiden stood on their balcony overlooking the Schuylkill. Noah's arms around him, watching fireworks bloom. Remember Macon? Noah murmured. Aiden smiled, leaning back. How could I forget? That's where I chose us. And in that choice, he'd found not just love, but grace, the human kind, earned in crises, cherished in calm. The shotgun, locked away, a relic. The heart, open wide, beating true.